Live.
Any second. Oh, there we go.
Here's the magic button. Here we are.
Oh, there we go. Good evening, good morning, wherever everyone is. Hello. Very happy to see you guys. Lena Rodriguez is here with me on Third Eye Champagne. And Lena and I have not done anything together in what, 2 years, maybe 3 years?
Could be. Things just race on.
I know, it runs together.
And we were planning today to kick back and just have a session. Let's look at gorgeous men in history, and we were going to play. And then, of course, SCOTUS intervened.
Yeah. I didn't know they were going to drop that today. Did we know that they were going to drop it today? I don't think we knew. We knew.
No, I certainly didn't know anything about it. We had the shot over the bow with the leaked memo and all of that, but they've done it.
They've done it. Yeah. So before we get into this whole situation, I want to remind you guys to make sure that you are subscribed to my channel, please. And if you don't know who I am, if you have come over from Tarot Down Under and you're just seeing me, hello, my name is Kirsten Langston. I'm an author. I'm an intuitive. I've been doing political readings and other readings on YouTube since March of 2017. So I just had my anniversary not that long ago. And in case you don't know, if you've never seen or met Lena before, Lena is from Australia, Tarot Down Under. She is brilliant. She's also a sociologist. And you've been doing readings since 17 or 18?
Yes, thanks to you. And we all have a debt to Kirsten because she was the very first political tarot reader on YouTube. So thank you, Kirsten.
Thank you, Lena. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Well, and there's Sharon Lee. Lena taught me tarot. Hi, Sharon Lee. Good to see you, doll.
Make sure you are subscribed to my channel. Make sure you are subscribed to Lena's channel. You're not going to want to miss anything that we have to do because we do it all.
That's right. And it's a big day. It's a big day in America. Because now we're here looking down the barrel of the gun. This is the other thing about SCOTUS, the same SCOTUS that said, open carry in New York, get on the subway with your gun. Why not? Self-defense? No. It's hunting humans.
Yeah.
Where are they coming from, these people? Where are they coming from?
Yeah. Lena and I were talking backstage, and I was telling her how exhausted I am with all of this. It seems like we in America went from Trump to COVID to now Roe v. Wade. It just seems like we're going from one thing to the next, and it's like you're getting whiplash. It's like you're
and they're all huge things in their own right, and people are definitely feeling it. This is compromising people's health. It's affecting everybody, it's affecting relationships, it's affecting families. There's this real trauma, deep trauma going on. But I just want to put in my 2 cents worth here. That shows how old I am. There probably hasn't been a 2-cent coin for 50 years. Anyway, if this means anything, it must mean that every American with a heart and a brain must galvanize between now and November, despite the trauma, because of the trauma. This is so important. The future of the United States as a working democracy rests on the midterms.
Yeah. I completely agree with you.
I don't think that's too big a thing to say. I think it is that dramatic.
I absolutely agree. This is not hyperbole. This is the truth. I mean, they're coming for us. They're coming for all of us.
Yep. And they're talking anti-abortion, but already that leprous dog, sorry about dogs, I shouldn't say that.
Right, you're insulting dogs.
Creature, Clarence Thomas, came out later today and said, now we're going after contraception, right? This is Handmaid's Tale. They're going after contraception and they're going after gay rights. Not just gay marriage, gay rights. It will be illegal to be homosexual in the United States in 5 minutes from now if people don't act.
Absolutely. I mean, that's it, hands down. And you know, the problem is right now, and this is, I mean, you can see it intellectually and you can see it psychically, is that we're in a race against time between, can the Republicans screw voting rights before 2022? Because if they can manage it, if they can run that ball into the end zone and mess around with our voting rights, it doesn't matter if we vote or not. And we have been saying this for years. Lena, me, I know there are other psychics, and there's other intellectuals, people that have been saying this, that like, hey, everybody, wake up, like this is not good. This is not.
It's absolutely a turning point in the history of America. One comment here, I live in Texas, and even my acquaintances who are red say this decision by SCOTUS is going too far. Let us pray amen to that. Right. But at the moment, American women are looking at a situation, particularly when they go after contraception, that you may as well be in a Taliban-ruled country, because this is how they behave.
Yes.
This is not a modern working country and reproductive rights. This is the Middle Ages. We're not just going back to the 50s, we're going back to the Middle Ages.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. 100%. I mean,
it's scandalous.
That is,
but they've nailed the colours to the mast. So it's up to America to respond now. It's really important.
It really is. I mean, this is, they're showing their whole ass, okay?
That's it, right?
Everything is being shown here. You know,
there's no maybes left on the table.
Right.
As it is. I was just saying to Kirsten before, I didn't know till a few years ago that many states in America, and no prizes for guessing which states, don't have a minimum marriage law. And that's because of teenage pregnancy, and you only need your parents' permission. So when you don't have contraception and you don't have safe clinical abortion and you have no minimum age for marriage, this is forcing 13-year-olds, 14-year-olds to marry their rapists, you know, and no exceptions for incest and stuff. I mean, it's really bad stuff.
It's draconian. It's draconian. I mean, it's just.
Oh. Yeah. And I'm old enough to remember what life was like before legalized abortion. And I saw friends of my mother's, I saw friends of my sister's, and women would get septicemia from having backyard abortions, women dying in childbirth because they just had too many babies, because we were in a Catholic enclave, you know, so people had lots of kids, and all of it, you know, all of it.
Yeah. This is, and you know, Pence has come out, and Lena said, you were cracking me up. You said, he hasn't spoken a word in 5 years, and all of a sudden this is what he has to say. He comes out and says, we're going to make it federal. He already Pence came out and said, we're going to make it a federal law. Yeah.
And look, may they ride it into the sunset, because let's hope it's their sunset. Shall we have a look?
Let's have a look. Let's do that. Before we get into it, I just want to make a few announcements before I forget. And if you have anything to let anybody know, please jump in. I want to let everybody know I will be on vacation for the month of July. I am taking a break. Now, if you are a member at thirdeyechampagne.com, which you should be because it's awesome, or if you are a patron, you're going to have some recorded videos. So instead of live streams, and also on YouTube, there's going to be some recorded videos coming up. So I want to tell you what I did the videos on, so you know what you're getting here. I did a U.S. politics special where I got tea on Brett Kavanaugh that you're not going to want to miss. Julie Maxwell came through, and I got tea, and I will tell you, I'm going to drop this bomb. This is what she told me, and she came through. I had her on lock. She came through. I did a whole special reading on her, and she said, I don't believe Epstein is dead. She told me that. And there's more.
Sorry, say that again.
Julie Maxwell, I was reading on her. She came through, and she told me, I don't believe Epstein is dead. She told me that. She flat out told me. So that is a really good reading. Lots of tea there. I also just did a special on women's rights. LGBTQ rights and people of color's rights in America. That's also going to be up this in July. I've also done a COVID special. I've also done a global looking at everything special. I've also looked at the Petito case, the civil case that's being done there. And then I did a whole special on the royal family. So I speak too fast. I do speak really fast. I'm sorry. I'll do my best to slow down, Karen. So anyway, all of that is going to be up for you guys. Some of it will be on YouTube. Some previews will be on YouTube. But everything is going to be up at thirdeyechampagne.com. So I want you guys to know that that is there. And I will be on vacation for the month. So anything you need to let anybody know, Lena, before we get into it?
Oh, yeah. Tomorrow, which is Saturday night, I am on Hogarth's channel with Diane's Tarot and Lady G. That's 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. What day did I say? I think it's Saturday night.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So Hogarth Astrology. Yeah.
Awesome. We need to start removing testicles, Lorraine said.
Yeah, that's right.
And I want to say thank you so much for everybody to be here. Thank you for Lena being here, and thank you so much for all of your kindness in the chat. You guys are kind to Lena and I. You guys are kind to each other. It is very much appreciated. We appreciate you guys being here. So thank you. All right, what are we looking at, Miss Lady?
Oh, it's so big.
I know. Exactly. I'm like, I don't know what to look at.
Yeah. Okay, let's look at maybe I'm sort of interested, as that comment said, I've got red friends in Texas who think it's too far. Let's have a look at middle America. The independent voters, someone in the middle. How is this going down? Will this shift anything for people around the middle?
That's a good one. I like that.
Because there's no hope for the MAGA files, but let's have a look at the middle, because the middle's big.
Lena, is it 6 or 7 Eastern tomorrow that Tris wants to know?
Oh, 7 p.m. Eastern. And it will be live. There'll be 4 of us. Okay. Is this going to shift the middle?
Oh, Hercules. Hello, Holly.
Will I go, Doll?
These comments are cracking me up. You guys are cracking me up in the chat.
Yeah.
We got jokes. We got jokes in the chat tonight.
Oh, that is so cool. The other thing is, I've got the High Priestess here with secrets and stuff. Did anyone else know they were voting on this? Did I just miss it? Or was it in secret?
We knew they were voting on it. We've known pretty much all of 2022. We may have known in the end of 21. I follow Boom Lawyered, which is a really great podcast, and they keep me up to date on reproductive rights in America. So we did know this was coming. We did know they were going to read on it, and everybody was predicting that they would strike down Roe v. Wade. We didn't, but I don't think they'd said it would be today. I knew.
Yeah, that's what I mean. There wasn't a sense of the Supreme Court are going to be voting on that this week or something. It was sort of, we knew where they were headed, but
yeah. No, I don't think we knew it was this date, this particular date. I knew it had to be at the end of June because they're about to go on vacation. And I was pretty sure it was going to be the last bomb they dropped.
Well, I think they might have bitten off more than they can chew with this one,
Oh, so no, they're saying they did know. Okay, so I guess they did announce it was going to be the 24th. I don't know.
All right. Don't know how I missed that, but I did. What do you call a joke that's not funny? Brett Kavanaugh. I love that. And there's more pressure too on that because we know at the time of his hearings, the FBI was sitting on 1,500 pieces of information, and it's now 4,000. More have come forward. Okay. Will I go ahead with this read, Doc?
Yes, please, Miss Lynn.
Okay. This is for the middle. Those who are still flip-flopping and thinking, oh, well, I think it is going to affect them. They're going to feel a loss of innocence in a way. You know how I was saying before, you're born into a sort of a stable democracy, and you just assume that it'll always be there. You think, oh, well, this is a democratic country and so forth, and a progressive country, and America got great by being innovative and out there, and they're feeling that loss keenly. The secrecy that I mentioned, this is a very emotional issue for obvious reasons. The Ace of Cups, right? Now, here comes the Emperor. This is, in a way, collectively, that conservative mentality. Let's go back to 1956, or preferably 1566, right? This is that thinking where men are the head of the households. Men, the gift of the penis means a higher intellect, a bigger role in society. I mean, we're back there. And they realize they have to defend, this is Middle America again, having to defend against the tower. So I see that as quite positive in that sense. It's now clear this is what is on the agenda. What did you get?
So what's really interesting, I did this, this reading just a little bit earlier today, again, on women's rights going forward and trans rights, LGBTQ rights. And this is very bizarre, but what the cards are doing is the Queen of Wands is representing the collective women in America. So I was doing that reading, earlier today, and she kept coming up over and over and over again. So she is for me. Now, this is what's going on at the root of the reading. We have the collective women in the middle. We have heartbreak. And then we have the card of pregnancy. I mean, this is giving me chills. And then look what we have here. The devil and the other card of women in pregnancy, the Empress. I mean, this is giving me chills.
I'm getting chills.
What happens? They're freaked out. They're definitely, these people, is it going to get us a change? I think it might, because look at this. I agree with Rena. We've got brand new energy coming. I think it is going to galvanize people. I also got the Ace of Cups, and I got it with the card of government. So I don't think the middle is going to stand for this, because most people don't really want it. And did you know, Lena, by the way, when you drive through Middle America, that there's all these abortion signs? Do you know this?
No.
There are billboards on every highway with dead babies and aborted fetuses, photos of them, pictures.
It's shocking. And these are the same small towns that have the church, the strip joint, and the ammunition shop.
Right.
Now they have the abortion billboards, right? And these same people are for the death penalty. Sorry, you can't have it both ways, love. No,
you can't. So we got some good questions here. I like this one. Kara's asking, how does this affect our rights to medical privacy?
Yes, exactly.
Let's see if it's gonna mess with that.
Yeah, this is a big issue.
It's huge, because it is the right to privacy, and then it's also filtering, like, they're gonna go after contraception. I mean, Lena's 100% correct.
Yeah. And I just want to say at this point, before we go any further too, wealthy women will still have access to safe clinical abortions, and they always have had. And they go to their doctors, and it's called a D&C, dilate and curate, and it's not on their medical records. right? Because it goes under a DNC. It's not called a termination. So the wealthy will still have access to it, but mere mortals won't.
Yeah, I agree. This, you know what? It's going to open a can of worms as far as medical privacy goes. Tower.
Yep.
Yeah, it is. It's a hot mess.
Because this is the thing, isn't it? This is what it's about too. Because if these really repressive abortion laws that have come on stream recently, there's nothing to stop them now looking at women's menstrual cycles and, where does this surveillance end? There's a legacy to this is the problem. They're thrilled with this arrangement, working together to get as much information on women as they can. That this is the thin end of that wedge. You can kiss medical privacy goodbye. The Queen of Pentacles is here to represent sanity and the good things that should be talked about in relation to this. These things were fought for from the 20s. That's when women started taking to the streets, the suffragettes then, for contraception in the 1920s, 100 years ago. Where I grew up, you could only get contraception if you were married. God. Right? And you were dependent on your local doctor who knew everybody, including your parents, So this sort of surveillance, not her, sorry, she's the good one. This sort of surveillance has been going on anyway. You know what I mean? But this is more high tech. But it's going against the grain of every civilized country, every first world nation. And I'm speaking for the whole world. I don't get to do that often, but people are horrified at the direction America is going. So it's important to remember that America is very youthful as a country, and Americans need to look out from America and see what other countries did and didn't do. Learn a bit of comparative history, because people have had to fight these fights forever, right? So it's America's turn, if you like.
Yep. Here, I'm going to put this up here so everybody knows what we're talking about tonight. Does it want to work? Yeah, let's.
Yes, Arlene, people will be going to Mexico. That's true. They'll be going to other states. Did you see Kavanaugh? I just saw this before I came on. You think he can't get any worse, right? You think he is the sewer rat of all time, Kavanaugh. He came out and said, yes, I voted, against Roe versus Wade, but I'm not against train trips to other states. What is he saying? What is that?
So he's saying it's a states' rights argument. That's what he's saying.
Yes, exactly. But he's dressing it up.
Which
isn't that gobsmacking?
But then you look at their decision on gun control, the concealed carry thing, which is so scary because basically they're saying you can conceal carry a weapon without needing a special license or anything.
Yeah. No.
So that's federal. That doesn't go to states' rights. But he believes that should be a federal law, but abortion should be a states' rights law. It just makes no sense. I mean, the guy's just talking out of both sides of his face.
Yeah, exactly. I was astonished he even said it. Cheryl's pointed out, which is the obvious thing we have to get to too. Both Kavanaugh and Coney Barrett said, we won't interfere with established law with their fingers crossed behind their back like angels. Can any action be taken against them for that? I don't know.
No. No, I don't think you're going to see anything. They're trying to be brought up on perjury charges, and they're not going to get kicked off. They're not going to get kicked off the court. If you guys are waiting for any of these people to get kicked off, it's not going to happen.
There's a slight possibility, I think Comey Barrett will be there forever, but there's a slight possibility, I think the Kavanaugh stuff in the wash could come back down the track. And Thomas could have to go if things get worse, but only if America rises up. It's in America's hands now. You know, use your democracy,
Somebody made
lose
Lucy
it, you know.
You guys are
What's
crap
that?
with this chat. You guys. So somebody said somebody may loosen their lug nuts on their cars. Aspie third eye said. Yeah. So why
Will
don't we
Biden take away old fashioned from states that
your
the
internet
parent
cutting out? Lena, you're cutting out. You're totally frozen.
There we go. Can you hear me okay? Frozen,
yeah, but
frozen.
You're frozen. You're a little pixelated, but you're okay. Okay.
Okay. Okay. I think Biden's too middle of the road to be that dramatic. I doubt he would do that. I wish, but I doubt it.
I totally doubt. All right, we'll take a peek at Biden, I guess, and see what, because he's making promises, but I don't know how much.
Let's see. Will Biden do anything about this, really? I mean, yeah. Biden's response to this. My thing is too, language is important. So I think rather than talk about abortion, I think we should all be talking about forced pregnancies and forced childbirth.
Yes.
Right? Because there's a lot of people who aren't comfortable with abortion, but they're also not comfortable with 12-year-olds being made to have babies. Okay. Right. So let's just call it like it is. It's forced childbirth.
It is. It is. It's forced pregnancy and forced birth. Yeah. Which is terrifying. But when you really contextualize it like that, which is the truth, it is terrifying.
Oh, absolutely. Will Biden do anything?
I don't think it's going to be enough, whatever he does. That's
no, I was just going to say he's going to tinker around there. Exactly. Oh, God. Okay. What I've got is, the 5 of Cups, disappointment and loss, followed by the 8 of Cups, walking away. Now, he's a late 70-year-old Catholic man. I think he's done very well to even get as far as he has on this issue, but it's not his heartfelt position, He'll come to some sort of compromise. Everyone will be asking, is it enough?
Mm-hmm.
The card of evaluation, this 7 of Pentacles, answer no, because they're going madder and badder. They're just going to keep being more ruthless and more ruthless through the. However, after all those dark and gloomy cards, I got the Empress. And I think we keep circling back to this. Women in America. And I hope everyone who's got a mother or a grandmother who's still alive to tell them stories about what it's like to have these rights taken away or to not have them, right? We need to hear those stories, and they're not pretty. We need to hear them because they are the reality. There we go. So that's the Empress, I think, coming in again. What did you get?
Oh, thanks for the super sticker, Dream. We appreciate tips here. All right. Biden does have a plan. I'll give you that. First of all, him saying Congress is going to codify Roe v. Wade, it's never going to happen because our Congress is shit. I hate to break it to everybody. They have gotten nothing done. They're cruising into midterms at 2020. And I think the only thing that's going to save the Democrats' majority is the Roe v. Wade decision today. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, I think they would have been out. They have gotten nothing done. The reason we know they have gotten nothing done mostly because of Manchin and Sinema. But they're never going to codify Roe v. Wade. So that's just something Biden is saying to try to put pressure on Congress for, to make them look bad, basically. But it doesn't mean anything. It's not going to happen. He does have a plan. I'll give him that. There's a plan here. Here's Biden's plan. There he is. He's like, here's my plan. I have a good, solid plan. Okay, great. Is it enough? Not really. I mean, I just kind of see it's like, well, I do a few things. It's kind of a drop in the bucket, and I'm sure I'm doing my best. His hands may also be tied also with what he actually can do. So it may not be Biden's fault that he can't get a lot done here. I'm not sure how what he can actually feasibly do by himself. So I would keep that in mind. Also, whatever he does do, it's going to be challenged by lawsuits.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean, we do have a good outcome. I'll tell you this. There will be, let me throw some hope into the pot here. We're gonna, and I've been saying this, I've been reading on Roe v. Wade since 2017. And we're gonna be kind of swinging back and forth in the US. We're not gonna just immediately overturn it. We're not just gonna, live like this forever and ever either under this repeal. We will get our rights back. Gonna take about 10 years. It's going to take about 10 years.
Yeah. And they'll have to be fought for. So it's really important. If you're feeling freaked out and paralyzed by this, I completely understand. But there's only a short window. We're virtually in July to November. So to conserve your energy as you go, so you've got enough energy to actually do your bit. There was an old saying in the 70s, if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. I remember I had a button that said that. I was 17, I didn't know what it meant. But when you think about it, and that other saying, evil flourishes when good people do nothing. This is what we really have to remember at this time. So whatever that means for you, is there one person in your family, in your neighborhood, you can encourage to register to vote and take them down there and help them fill it out? And is there someone you can take to the polling booth? Anything you can do is really, really important.
Absolutely. And I think the push to secure voting rights is the number one thing we should all be pushing.
Number one.
Run out, protest Roe v. Wade, get your ducks in a row. But the real game is at voting rights, because if we lose those,
exactly, then there is no democracy.
No, it's gone. Yeah. And we're on the edge of it. I mean, I think Lena agrees with me. I mean, we are on the edge of losing our democracy, and this is real. We're not fear mongering. I mean, it's true.
Yeah, it's up to everyone to do their bit to be on the right side of history. So it's important not to get too burnt out. Take a break, come back. Find somewhere, some organization that's already doing good work. You could maybe volunteer 2 hours a week to do something for them or whatever. Just find an action, because then you find yourself mixing with like-minded people, and that gives you energy, which is why big protests work. If you're out there with 1 million people or something, it fills you with energy, and it has a momentum. So it doesn't matter whether you go big or small or both. Please find some way to contribute. It's so important.
Yeah. And I also want to say, I'm just like, I want everybody to really see the picture of what's going on here. First of all, the timing of this Roe v. Wade situation, it's on purpose. Just so you know, it's completely on purpose. They've done this on purpose. The fact that you have these two senators that have put Congress in gridlock is on purpose, and it's all one big, huge plan. None of this is separate. Okay, this is a Republican plan in order to implement Christian fascism in place of American democracy.
Yes.
So your eyes need to be on the voting rights, because when they take that, if they can get away with that, you're in.
And it doesn't matter what else.
It doesn't matter what else happens. It doesn't matter what Biden does. It doesn't matter who does what. It's voting rights, voting rights, voting rights. Yes, they've been planning it for years. So you have to look at the big, huge picture here. And the immediate, urgent issue, it's not actually Roe v. Wade. It's voting rights. It is voting rights.
Yep.
And it's getting
the single biggest issue.
Yes. It's getting people to registered, and it's making sure that people are able to vote. But I will tell you what, when these lunatics lock down the states, and that's what they're doing. If you don't know this, these people are locking down the states so that they can make it legal to throw out votes. They can make it legal to question votes. That's already happening in quite a few states. So you really need to look in your state, especially if you're in a red state, but you need to look at what's happening at the lowest levels of government, because that's where the Republicans are attacking. And at this point,
and they've been very clever at stocking up the school boards, local councils, all those things.
Yeah.
And local is where it's at for most people. Your life is affected by your local government. And so the Dems with the backs to the wall need to be countering that, you know.
Yes. And I will say this, look, I hate all politicians. There's very few that I actually like. It's you know, and I mean that I think do a good job. I may like some people, but there's very few that I think are really for the people in America. I think that most of them are full of shit. I don't really like Democrats. I really, really, really don't like Republicans. But it is very important right now to vote blue no matter what. Because if you
no matter what your reservations and so exactly, this is a watershed in history. Forget 2024, it's all about the midterms. But at my more optimistic, I think there's a very good chance, hopefully this issue will galvanize a few people who are still dragging the chain, but also, and prayers to this, that a lot of the disenchanted MAGA files don't vote. Wouldn't that be bliss? More blue votes than ever before in the history of America, and more MAGAs who don't go. It could be fabulous.
That's true. And also, just so you know, I know we're just basically like throwing out lectures at this point. We're going to get back to reading, I promise.
Yeah.
But also, just so you know, they push and push and push so that we do get tired and we do get disenfranchised and that we do think our voting doesn't matter. That is also part of the plan.
It's really important to understand that is a strategy and not let them win. Yeah, that's right. Cara says our country needs to get rid of the two-party system. Now, that's an interesting thought, very hard to do. In Australia, we have what's called a preferential voting system. So you vote in order for different parties, but the system's quite good in the sense. So a party like the Green Party, you have your two big parties like your Conservatives and Dems. The Green Party, for example, you're passionate about climate change. With all the other littler parties, you know where their preferences on most votes in Parliament will go. You know they're more likely to go with the Dems, right, on these issues. Or if it's a family first Conservative Christian party, you know their votes will more likely go the other way, right? So you know if you vote for them. But why it's good is, providing they get seats in the Parliament like the Greens did this time, it means that our Dems have to really talk with them and to secure their vote, because they can't take it for granted. So I think that system is better, because I think the American system, who was that guy years ago, Ross Perot or something?
Oh, yeah.
You have a third party, it just splits either the Dems or the Conservatives, and it doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
Whereas this system, that's what I mean about looking at other systems, right? Is a much better system, I think.
Yeah, I agree with you. I completely agree. Should we look at, are they going to take our contraceptives? Let's take a peek, yeah?
Well, they've said they are. I'm sorry. We need another question for the cards.
Let's see if they get away with it. Let's see if they get away with it.
Yeah, that's a better question. Okay. Will they get away with
Oh, Scott Morrison was voted out. Yeah, you guys got rid of Morrison. Congratulations, by the way.
Yeah, thanks. And I actually didn't think we'd do it. I really didn't. So there's hope. There's hope.
Yeah, I was reading on it. It was being very flippy floppy at first, and then it finally cemented itself. I said, "Oh no, you're going to get rid of him." But in the beginning, when I was reading on it, I was going, "I don't know."
Yeah. And it was big. And the independents, which is the ones I was just talking about, they are the ones that pushed. It was the independents that got him out.
Mm. All right. Let's
Okay.
see.
Contraception. This freaks the hell out of me, the whole contraception thing.
Oh, I know. It scares the bejesus out of me. It really does. All right.
Oh, big cards. Big cards.
Yeah.
Will I go?
Go ahead. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, well, first cab off the rank, the devil. Look, really, you couldn't script it, could you?
No.
And the devil in the service of this to me this is normally big corporations, big money. Big corporations aren't invested in this. They know it's stupid. This is more the 10 of Pentacles in the sense of passing down old ideas. This is a card of intergenerations. This is that old, conservative, tired, repressive Christian stuff, right? That is the devil. However, the sun is shining on the democracy because the star is my card of everything that's great about the USA. Right. So I couldn't be happier at seeing those two together. Boom. You know, this is the nightmare. This is the response. That really gives me heart. Oh.
Yeah.
What did you get?
So I think there are going to be attempts made. Okay. Like and I think the way they're going to do it is going to be, it's going to be kind of circumstantial. So they're not going to come out and say, oh, you can't get that. But they might say, well, you know what? Health companies don't have to pay for it anymore. They may
look, that'll be their first move.
Right.
Absolutely.
Health customers, you know, you're because I think they've already kind of passed a law that the company that you work for can say, I'm not going to pay for your birth control. I'm pretty sure that's already a law. But I think they're going to come in and say, well, we're going to try to say health insurance, your insurance doesn't have to cover birth control anymore. We don't have to cover it anymore. So people won't be able to get access to it. I think that's the way they're going to go. Yeah. I'm talking fast again. Sorry, Karen. But that's the way they're going to kind of come around with it. However, I agree with Lena. They're not going to succeed. The star is here.
No. Oh, you got the star too.
Yeah. They're not going to succeed.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's got to the stage almost, bring it on. Do your worst. Say it all out loud. Every stinking, fetid, backward, warped idea you've ever had, put it out there. Let the people decide.
That might be my most favorite thing you've ever just said. That was just eloquent.
Well, that's what being cranky will do for you.
Diane said they're going to take maternity rights. Now, I did see that. So if you're just joining us, I want you guys to know, once again, just FYI, I will be on vacation for the month of July, but I'm doing a bunch of recordings will be coming out for both YouTube and then for paid members at thirdeyechampagne.com. I did read on that, and that reading's going to be out tomorrow. I've bumped it up. So I actually read on that, and they are going to be coming for maternity rights. They're going to try. They're going to try.
And Ken just points out here, so if we're going back to the 50s, are men prepared to support their large families without the wife working?
Maybe not.
I'd like to think so. Yeah, look, exactly. People forget. They think of the 50s and think happy days. It was a suburban nightmare.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm a child of the 50s, and let me tell you, it was not fun. You know, it was really, really repressive. My sister couldn't hold her boyfriend's hand in the house.
Whoa.
Right?
Wow.
Until they got engaged.
Whoa.
Hold hands. And they were already doing it like everyone else, which is why everyone had a shotgun marriage. You know, like it's this illusion. You know.
That's wow. Should we take a peek at midterms and see if we're going to get a big blue wave?
Let's have a look.
What?
Now, bear in mind, everyone, we have to keep revisiting this because everything changes, you know.
Well, and the thing too, also, let's not forget that midterms are in November. And what is November? Oh, it's eclipse season.
Yeah.
So,
Boom.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm very heartened too. Do you know Andre from Astrology Alert?
Oh,
Do you
I
know
love
his?
Andre. I'm
Yeah,
obsessed with him.
he's lovely. And he doesn't get excited or run off at the mouth, or, he's a very cool guy. And he keeps saying Biden's chart that isn't wonderful at the moment, but it's really good in November. So, Andre, thank you for that. It keeps us
Right.
going.
I also want to make clear, people are saying, because I said it's going to take 10 years before this is fully sorted out. And I want to make it clear that it's going to take up to 10 years before it is completely repealed and it is safe. Like, you're not going to be able to repeal it again. Okay. So it's going to be a back and forth process. It just is. And but I do believe that that there will never be a federal law against abortion. There will never be a federal law. You're going to be able to go to different states and get what you need. So just so you know that, it's going to be wishy-washy for quite a while, but at the end of the day, within 10 years, we're going to get Roe back, and it will be completely protected. So they're not going to be able to repeal it ever again.
And I think it'll be a whole different America then too. I think there'll be quite sensible gun laws, possibly even in 10 years from now, because this stuff is absolute lunacy. It's Wild West macho nonsense.
Prohibition took that long. That's right. I didn't even think of it. You're right.
Yeah. And the same thing, people drank all through Prohibition. They just paid more. Sorry, I forgot the question. What was it, though?
Will we have a big blue wave in midterms?
Oh, the biggest question of all. What did you get? Well, I'm sorting myself.
I get what I normally get, but I'm going to actually start with this, which is a warning. And the warning is, sorry, so sorry. Donald Trump and the Trumpians, the MAGAs, if you want to call them, the MAGA party. He's here. He's going to try some shit. There it is. He's going to try to cause a lot of conflict during midterms 2022. So this November, this guy is going to get his hand all up in the business. All up in the business. He is here. Do we get a blue wave? It looks like we do, but I am very cautious because, and this is what I always say when I read on this, the damn devil is here.
Yeah. And this is the voting rights you keep coming back to.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. So we may win. We may technically win and yet not win.
Yeah.
Because that devil.
And people have to be prepared to get out in the streets over this stuff. It's got to be seen. All the MAGA files have taken all the oxygen out of the room for so long. And look, I'm a great believer in warm bodies on the street, but to do it safely, of course, but that's another conversation. But okay, what did I get for the midterms? The Hierophant, they who shall not be named.
Same over here. Yep.
Strategizing their butts off, how to steal it.
Yep.
There's going to be some casualties in this process, and that might be individual districts or a whole state or something. There will be casualties. The false knight. Johnny from Tarot's Apprentice first introduced this concept, about the Knight of Cups being a false knight. Not all the time, but can be a false knight.
That's really interesting.
That's what I think all of these other cards are about.
Oh, that's interesting, because I also got the Knight of Cups. We're getting the same
Very
card.
interesting. However, then we have a completely different energy. It's like the spread split into two. Then comes the Magician, which, as we know, can go either way, bad juju or good juju, but it's powerful juju, right? So the Magician, things can be done. However, this is the moment in history that matters: karma, fate, and destiny. So for every decent thinking American, I am begging you, find your way to contribute and help this come to pass. This November is what matters.
It matters way, way, way more than you think. And the problem in America too is like so many people don't vote in midterms. But I am telling you, you need to tell people in your lives. Like it needs to be like the
Yes.
network. You need to go out and tell everybody, hey, we got to vote in 20. Don't forget to vote. 20. It's really important. Don't forget. Don't forget. Like you have
and make a thing about it. Say, okay, I'm going to take 5 people in my car, or I'm going to do this, or whatever. See, that's another thing about Australia. Voting day in Australia, it doesn't matter what state you're in, the process is identical. That's the first thing. If it's a national election, it has to be the same. So we have state elections and they're a bit different, but if it's a national election, it doesn't matter if you're in Darwin or Tasmania, it's run the same way. And no matter where you live, every school in like a 20-mile radius is a polling booth. Every church in a 20-mile radius is a polling booth. You don't have this one polling booth crap that you do over there. You can go anywhere and vote. Hello, because it's your right to vote and it's made easy for you. We have elections on Saturdays, not during the week. And that was back in the day, so working men, because women didn't have the vote. Remember that, ladies, as you're thinking about all these things that can happen. So working men could vote. So Australian elections are on a Saturday. By law, any employer, if you are working on a Saturday, by law, your employer has to give you 3 hours off to vote. Everything is about voting and making it easier to vote.
Wow, that is a foreign concept to me. I mean,
I can't believe this stuff of people saying, "Oh, the queues," and then they shut polling booths and we couldn't get to. Okay, what language are you speaking? Are you in a third world country? What on earth? And yet this is stuff that has been done again for 100 years, but people haven't noticed because whatever America does, Americans think is the best. Okay, because you inculcated from birth, this is the greatest country on earth. So if you're standing in the Appalachians, having just buried your sister-in-law from an opioid overdose and you're nursing your dying baby, I don't want socialist healthcare. You know, like what?
Yeah.
You know, what?
I know. It's wild to me. Well, and the thing that kills me, it's the imposition. It's well, I don't want to have an abortion and I don't want you to have one either. I don't want socialist healthcare, so I don't want you to have socialist health. Like, just let the people that want to do what they want to do what they need to do.
Please do not have a termination if you do not want one.
Right.
No one is saying that.
Right. Absolutely.
And I have to say here, because I used to work in the equivalent of Planned Parenthood for some years. And here's the thing. The majority of women who have terminations are married women with children. That is 70% of the women who have terminations because they've already got 2 kids and they know exactly what's involved, right? The teenagers are going there, I'm going to keep my baby. I'm like, oh. It's not the teens, it's married women with children.
Yeah. I mean, and you know, I just I'm like, what else do we need to read on? Actually, you know what? Let's see if anything happens with the SCOTUS. Like, if anything crazy is coming down the pike, maybe Thomas.
They've been pushing the envelope, haven't they? Let's see.
And I'm curious to see if there's a fallout here.
See, that's another thing. And I'm not saying Australia's perfect. Please, if you haven't met me before, please do not go away with that idea. We have the worst immigration policies in the world. We are disgusting to the First Nations people of this country. Please do not think I'm just sitting here going, oh, Aussie's great. No. However, we do have some things that are great, which includes universal healthcare. But where was I going with that? What were we just talking about? There was something.
No, we're looking at SCOTUS.
Oh, yeah. Our High Court. Okay. High Court judges, our equivalent of the Supreme Court. We have a Supreme Court. You shouldn't know what their personal affiliation is. You get a sense some are a bit more conservative than others, but they are chosen, and what you expect is their fine legal brains to be applied to this issue of law, not their religion, because of the separation of church and state.
Right, exactly.
I would have no clue what religion any of our High Court judges were.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have to know.
Exactly. I want to remind everybody, if you're not subscribed to my channel, please do so. I am live the first 2 Thursdays of every month at 3 p.m. PDT, reading on whatever you guys want me to read on: global, celebrities, politics, anything y'all come up with. I will not be here this July doing that because I'm on a vacation. But
you've already done a lot of videos, so people won't be starving when she's away. There'll be lots of videos. There's going to be
some recordings going up for you guys, FYI. And also, you got to understand, I've been thinking about a lot of stuff lately, guys. I'm thinking about a lot of stuff, and I've been watching a lot of George Carlin and reading a lot of Hunter Thompson. So this is where my brain is.
Yeah.
But you got to know this Roe v. Wade thing, it is a war on women and poor people, and particularly women of color that are poor. And you have to ask yourself, why are they waging war on us? You need to ask yourself that question, because they get y'all spun up. They get us all spun up. We don't start asking why, and we should be asking why.
Yeah.
Because it's not all just religious ideology. There's money here. There's money. We focus on religion, but there is money in this for these people.
And there's religion and weird cults. So they're not just, it's like Bill Barr is, what is he? Is he Opus Dei or something? These are not just Episcopalians versus Catholics. This is not Southern Baptists saying their thing. This is deep, well-financed stuff that want to see the theocracies back.
Yeah, it's. I mean, follow the money, honey. Oh, this is interesting. This is very, very interesting.
What did you get?
Well, I don't know that anything's coming down. So I know a lot of people are thinking, well, maybe they'll impeach Thomas because of Ginny Thomas. I don't see it. We can look at it directly, but I don't see it. I don't think they're going to get rid of Amy Coney Barrett, and she is a travesty. And I don't think Kavanaugh is iffy. I agree with you. Kavanaugh, something might happen down the road, like maybe way down the road. It could be
might be in 5 years' time, but I wouldn't be surprised. But she's going to be there.
Yeah, so I don't see anything wild. I don't see Biden adding anybody. I don't see a whole hell of a lot of changes. But what's really interesting is this, the idea in the cards that, yes, they've gone too far. I mean, it's here. It's here in the cards. Like, they went too far.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think, here we go. We've got the emperor. We've talked about that patriarchal male energy. Going to war. They're going to battle, right? And saying the false knight again. I tell you what, once you adopt the false knight, you'll never go back, Kirsten.
Yeah, I'm all for it, man.
It can be a lovely card for normal readings for normal people. But dealing with these, dramatically awful rat bags, the knight, saying we're doing it, for all the right reasons, because we love children and all that crap. It couldn't be more deceptive if it tried with the moon card. But here we have it. I agree. This is doing this to women, right? Locking women up effectively, taking women's rights away is a bridge too far. People don't like it. And with the 10 of Swords too, I think it's a lot of different people don't like it, not just progressives, not just Dems. This is an uncomfortable space, right? And on top of the lot, the lovely Temperance card. So I think, like you, there's going to be all this drawn out stuff. We have to get rid of this idea that things are going to be worked out in 6 weeks or 8 weeks or 10 weeks or something. This is going to play out over time. But the angel of temperance and light is in attendance, hanging over them. But these are very dark cards for it. SCOTUS, just dreadful.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this. Do you feel that they have been corrupted? Like maybe they're being paid to give these decisions?
Say that again.
Do you feel like the court itself is corrupted? As in someone else is pulling the strings, that somebody called Clarence Thomas and said, I'm going to pay you this much money, or I'm going to blackmail you, and you strike down Roe v. Wade.
I don't know. Shall we read on it?
Let's read on it. Everybody in the chat's going, yes, duh, Kirsten, you moron. Well, let's take a peek. See what the cards say. Well, I mean, I honestly kind of had the opinion, okay, we just got these religious nutbags and blah, blah, blah. And no offense to any nutbags out there. I actually like nutbags in all senses of the word. But, now I'm thinking, well, maybe there's more to it than that, all that George
JC says here 40 million went to Coney Barrett's nomination. 40 million.
Oh, my God. Anthony Kennedy's son was a loan officer with Deutsche Bank who cut billions in loans to the Yeti. Oh, my God.
Yeah, but at the time, and that's why he resigned, I think 5 minutes before it became public. It was a couple of years ago, but that's absolutely right.
And I appreciate all you guys, by the way, being here and hanging out with us. And I appreciate Lena for being here. And thank you again so very, very much for being so sweet in the chat to each other, to me and Lena. We very much appreciate you.
Yeah.
And I appreciate the mods that are I'm sure you've got dealing with trolls out there. So thank you so much for that. Ooh, oh shit.
Yeah.
Whoa. Here you go, baby. There's the devil.
Yeah. Because I was thinking, well, yeah, probably, but the extent of it.
Yes.
The extent of it is mind-bending.
Yeah, there's the offer there. There's an offer there. So someone is watching someone. Somebody's pulling strings on at least one person on this court. At least one, but probably more than that. Somebody is pulling strings here. There is a partnership that is not of this court. I mean, this is ooh, honey. They have been corrupted, flat out. There's the corruption. I mean, it's here. It's here.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. This could become an issue in itself.
Mm-hmm.
Actually. Now, here's the ruthless soldier. So ruthless that the other people who fought with him are now walking away in this card. This is a hint to me that people who were supporting this at some point are now having a bit of a think. King of Pentacles, right? This guy has money, power, castles, jewels, and it's never enough. Never enough.
Mm-hmm.
Fool's gold. Ace of Pentacles going into it. Why I think this might become a burden to them with this secrecy is I think we're going to see a whistleblower. I think a previous insider, not just someone who worked for somebody, might be that, but someone who believed, a true believer who maybe was responsible for actually moving the money, maybe some wire fraud or something, someone who actually was inside it. This could be an issue.
that
This could be an issue.
yeah, that and also, you know, when I look at it off of the cards, I mean, Thomas is definitely in someone's pocket. I'm going to name names. I'm going to sit here and name names like I'm at a McCarthy hearing. Clarence Thomas has definitely been breached, if you will. He's been breached. He's definitely got something. Somebody. I don't know if he's being paid. He may be being blackmailed. It may not be.
Yeah, it could be either way. It's the same with Kavanaugh. I don't get the sense that he's been paid for it, but he's in debt to people because they paid, as someone said, his gambling debt. So people pushed him through, so he's in debt, just like a gambler. You know what I mean? It's these other relationships. It's not quite, here's another 20 mil in your bank account stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
It's other stuff.
It's other stuff. It's other stuff. Should we take a peek at gay rights and see if they're going to be coming for those next? Did we already read on that? I can't remember.
No, we haven't, but I think they are. So let's jump and say, will this activate the gay vote in America?
Good one. I like that.
You like that?
I like that.
10% of the population, if you go in the general global biological stats. Interesting. So are you happy with that question?
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
Yes, Martha, the Mercers, Murdoch, the Koch brothers, even though there's only one left, I think. Yeah, all of them. Yeah. Okay. Will the gay vote turn out? It's a really important voting bloc.
You know what's real interesting? So FYI, once again, recorded a bunch of stuff and I did a whole Ghislaine Maxwell thing, and I had her, and the information I was getting from her, she was talking about politicians. She was talking about British politicians. She was talking about American politicians, politicians around the world. And honestly, guys, again, maybe too much George Carlin, but I do get the sense that there is something that's going to be unearthed that is like the string pullers, and it's not the Kochs and the Mercers and Murdoch. There are other people we don't even know the names of.
Yep, true. Chris Wicken says more like 15% of the population. I'm happy to go with that. I was just going for the low accepted number. 15% is even better. Okay.
Ooh.
Yeah. I think they're motivated. I think this is a motivation. This kicks off with the 10 of Pentacles, which I think, again, I said in one of the spreads when we first started, this is not necessarily money type pentacles that it often is. In this case, it's values. And this is the old values that demonized gayness, let alone trans, let alone anything else. So it smacks of the value system. People are sort of waking up going, oh, I didn't think I'd have to bother voting, but maybe I do. I think there's a bit of this going on. I think there's a real push for young gays to come out in significant
Oh my
God. We're 12,000 miles apart. This is pretty interesting, isn't it?
It is. It really is.
And again, I think that's speaking of values, not money. Even as professional readers, we see pentacles, we think money, and so this means we have to look at those other conventional interpretations. This is about the values. They will not let the Hierophant win, the dreary Hierophant, and fight for justice. This is my social justice card. No.
This is kind of spooky. This is a little spooky.
How about that? 78 cards in a deck.
Right. I mean, this is, wow. That's
yeah. Between us, we're dealing with 156 cards or something.
Yeah.
And we get those.
Isn't that wild? Oh my
It's fabulous. I love it. Do you want to add anything to that?
Do I need to? I will say, yes, I think we are going to galvanize the
Yeah,
gay, the LGBT.
love that. Love
This
that.
these are really, really beautiful cards. And here's the thing. What I really like is these two cards, because it says, oh, you're not just going to galvanize voters, you're going to get people to fight. And this one is always backwards on this damn thing, and I always forget.
Yeah.
They're going to fight the long fight. They're going to fight the long fight. This Eight of Pentacles, you don't just, it's like you're doing step, because Lena's right.
By step.
This whole thing will take years. Like, you need to be prepared to do this dance with these assholes, pardon me, I do cuss, for years. We will be fighting this for a decent portion before things really settle down. And I do want to tell you, they will settle down. We will be okay.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Because also this is a big wake-up call. And then people will take that into the next few years. It means, I think, more people, even if both of them are working or whatever, are going to sit on the school board, because they won't want to see these absolute puritanical nutcases take over each school, each council. And I think that's what's going to give birth to a new democracy. I really, really, really think so. A real democracy.
Yes, I agree. So in one of my recorded readings, just keep on bringing them up, Kirsten. I got to plug them, kids. Sorry. I did look at the future of U.S. politics. I looked at 22. I looked at 24. I looked at 26. And I looked at 28. And let me tell you this. 2028 is the year. You're going to start to see huge shifts in 2028 in America. Just you wait. What else have we not covered, you guys? Have we covered everything we should be covering? I want to make sure that we nailed everything before we say good evening. Well, good morning to Lena. Good evening to me.
Yeah. I just had a banana for breakfast and leapt on.
Yeah. Yeah, and I just jumped off the massage table. So
yeah. Okay. Let's throw it out there. We've got time for one more question. So the first question that we see, what about that?
Whereas I'm not going to read on COVID, but the COVID special will be out in July for you guys.
Yes.
This is
right. Oh, that was interesting. In Florida, DeSantis. Now, I haven't verified this. I'm just trusting you in the chat here. Spent $300 million investing in Russia just prior to all this drama. Where is that? Can someone let us know what that was about? Florida has invested $300 million into Russia through the pension fund, and DeSantis had a Russian unregistered agent working for him. Remember, she was exposed a few weeks ago. See, that's the other thing that I think is fantastic. Trump's grift is old. The worst thing that can happen to Trump is he gets boring, right? And he's crossed over the line to boring. And DeSantis is where they're going to go next, I think. But Trump is going to want to destroy DeSantis. So with the last flailing, decaying claws of his power.
I just love you.
I think he's going to try and, cripple DeSantis. So I think that's going to be interesting to watch, because DeSantis does have dirt like this. Very interesting.
Should we look at that?
Let's have a look at that.
Oh, let's take a peek. Let's take a little peek. I haven't read on this guy in literal years. And I'm interested to see what comes out.
Let's have a look. Are we looking at the matchup, Trump DeSantis, or are we?
No, we got to do that, because that's going to be the fun one. That's going to be the fun one.
I agree. People are terribly worried, and I can understand that, because DeSantis is a more efficient fascist.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm not dismissing it. I am saying Trump simply won't be able to bear that. So he will have people looking night and day for dirt on DeSantis. And who could watch?
Let's see. And you know what, guys? It's okay to have a little bit of fun every once in a while. And I think this is kind of a crack up of a reading. All right, DeSantis versus Trump.
Let's have a look.
Two men enter the ring. Only one will leave.
I know. Bare knuckle boxing, we used to call it here. No gloves. Yes, thank you, Anna. Exactly. Yeah. So, Stone threatened DeSantis and said, "We got stuff on you, fat boy."
My God. This is like a soap opera. I didn't know any of this, by the way, guys. I check out of a lot of stuff.
Yeah, you can only cover so much when you're doing this stuff every day like we are. You miss some huge things because there's so much else, you know.
I'd like to channel Thomas Jefferson. So I will tell you, Ben Franklin came through on one of the recorded readings that's coming out. And some guy who wouldn't give me his real name. So anyway, that is there on the U.S. Politics special reading. And boy, did Franklin had some things to say. Still a party, by the way, FYI. Oh, they do have dirt. Oh my God.
I know, I'm loving this.
Oh my God.
Yeah, because I didn't think they really would have that much. I mean, sure, you know, but a bit of this and that, but there's enough to do him in.
Oh, 10 of swords in the back, honey. That's yeah, they've got dirt. And look at this. It's women. It's illegal shit.
Yeah.
It's also there's your money right there. So there is a money burden here.
Yes.
Oh yeah, they got
hello.
dirt.
Here we go. You know, yeah, totally the mercenary. And Trump won't be able to help himself. So I think this is going to be really interesting to watch. I think because Trump only has, 2.5 friends left, I mean, really, this rats on a sinking ship. But they're going to go hard on this because it's also Florida. Don't you love it? It's Mar-a-Lago versus it's all this intensity in the same state. Couldn't bear it. I think we're going to hear a lot of things simultaneously about the money. The King of Wands, which I thought may be a good guy coming into the picture, but I don't. I think this is DeSantis looking reasonable. This is him. Yeah, people like him. I don't understand it, but it's sort of that he looks as if he's going to be able to weather this storm. However, he's going to have to move. This could also be hurricanes.
Oh, that's true.
In summer too. Water could bring him undone because there's all this 8 of Wands, things at the same time. This could be a disastrous hurricane that he handles really badly or something like that. Tower. So I think he's their great white hope. And I think they're going to move from Trump to DeSantis, and then that's going to fall off a cliff.
Yeah. And you know what's interesting? I love watching these hit jobs that they performed on Cawthorn and Boebert and Marjorie Taylor Greene. I'm just like, your own party just ate you alive. Like, I mean, honestly, it was kind of insane to watch. Like, how did they knew this man had pictures of himself in panties. Okay, they knew that when he got elected.
I know. Wasn't it bliss?
I mean, they knew. The Republican Party, Mitch McConnell sat there way before Cawthorn was elected. I was looking at nudie pictures of Madison Cawthorn in underwear, and he was going, you know what? These are going to come in handy someday.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And that's the thing. And I don't think anyone should be outed, any consenting adult should be able to do whatever they like unless they use their power to suppress other people's rights.
Exactly.
And those pictures of him in the lingerie, I actually put it up on one of my videos and called it a good Baptist boy.
Oh, that's great. I mean, he's cute. To be honest, he's cute. He's a good looking guy. Like, he's a cutie. For sure.
Oh, yeah. So that didn't hurt either. Someone else said, Mike Pence needs a boyfriend. You raise a good point, really.
I feel like, this is my personal opinion, and this could just be me being a quadruple Scorpio, but I truly feel that if these people were properly getting laid in the manner in which they wanted to get laid, we would not be on the edge of fascism in America. That is literally one of my true beliefs in life.
And this is the problem with the hypocrisy of the far right. They're always the ones that there was that old joke. It's always the GOP who are caught in the motel room with the dead girl or the live boy.
Right.
Yeah. And it was sort of like one of those things. Yeah, it's not Dems doing this stuff. If you're that hypocritical, you're going to be caught out and you're going to be caught. It was like Falwell's son, caught with his pants down, the beer in one hand, and doing a threesome with his wife and the neighbor. I mean, it's always the conservatives.
Right. It's because they hate themselves. It's because they were taught to hate themselves. I mean, that's like, if you want to take it to a spiritual level, the unfortunate problem is these people hate themselves so much that they want to impose that pain on everybody.
Yeah.
It's very, very sad. Well, that's going to wrap it up for us tonight because I need to go eat dinner. I'm starving.
And thank you for coming in, guys. You were great. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you, everyone, so much. Again, thank you to the mods and everybody being so sweet and supportive in the chat. I know somebody said this was like the best matchup ever, and I agree. Lena, we cannot go any longer like that, years without reading together, because we're just,
no, that's ridiculous. It won't happen. No.
Yeah, we're just too good. So thank you guys so much. Make sure you're going and giving Tarot Down Under a subscribe if you have not. Do you have a Patreon or anything for them to support?
No, it's just Tarot Down Under, and there I am. I'm a simple girl.
You're a simple girl. I love it. I love it. If you want to check me out, if you're liking what you're seeing, you've never seen me before, go to thirdeye-champagne.com. That is my website. It's my baby. I just got it off the ground. You're going to find lots of content like this, plus blogs, plus other stuff. There is free content. There is paid content. So I want to make sure everybody can get everything that they need over there. I will be back for lives in August, but until then, you have all your amazing recordings coming up. Lena, thank you so much.
My absolute pleasure, and I'll see you soon.
All right. Thanks, everybody. And thank you. My usual, I say thank you and good night. And then I have to click broadcast, and I have to click end broadcast. And my exit is completely ruined. But anyway,
exactly.
Thank you and good night.
Yeah.
And